Hello everybody, and welcome back to Two Brothers Outdoors. I'm Rick. We're going to pick this up where the other video left off. We're going to knock this yellow birch down. Shh, don't tell Tim, I'm by myself. Alright guys, yeah, I'm going to get in trouble, but this thing with Tim working every day kind of gets in the way of what we want to do. He retires in a couple of years, 2 years, next year maybe, I don't know. But if this was any danger at all, I wouldn't do this by myself. But we got wide open area over here. This tree is leaning hard this way, and there is nothing around the top that can fall out. So we're going to take this one down as we did the cherry, so I can get them bucked up and get them ready to pull out of here when Tim gets home. Okay, this tree is leaning just a little bit towards us. I want it to go that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relieve this side just a little bit. I'm going to cut it from this side here over to the other side. That'll keep the other side attached until the gravity starts to bring it down. It should bring it down that direction. Don't worry, I can't get squashed. If it falls the wrong way, I've got plenty of places to go. Somehow, I lost the wedge. Oh, it's here somewhere. I'll find it in a minute. And yes, it pinched my blade. But that's all right. It's down in the right direction. All right, guys. We're just going to buck this up real quick. This did fall across one of our trails, so we are going to have to move a little bit of it anyway. We are going to make our logs as usual, 8'6". All right, guys, you watched the video of the tree falling, but you were probably fixated on the tree itself. Anybody see where my yellow wedge went? It's kind of weird because usually they just fall out of the tree right there. Maybe it's under the log. Come on, guys, tell me where that wedge went. You're supposed to be watching here. All right, it's not under the log. Huh. Well, guys, I got no idea where it went. I know the saw didn't hit it. If it did, it would have thrown it over that direction. And I don't see it over here anywhere. Oop, I thought I saw it, but it was just a yellow leaf. Well, shoot. Okay, we're going to quickly buck up this cherry tree. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 logs out of that yellow birch. And I'm thinking we're probably going to get maybe 6 logs out of this cherry. And that's a beautiful cherry. Look how red it is in the bottom. All right, I'm going to buck it up. You guys aren't going to have to suffer through watching that. Still didn't find my wedge. If you guys saw where it flew to on the video, let me know. All right, guys, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one little tiny log, 6 out of this cherry. That's not bad at all. That's going to be a good take. This should carry us through the winter, hopefully. As that birch should carry us through the winter, but we'll see. Sometimes cherry gets hit pretty fast, pretty hard. All right, I think I'm going to run down and grab a log arch and bring 2 of these logs out, one birch and one cherry. That way we can saw them up and get them in the box tonight. Because the weather looks like it might start raining today. It's not very warm. Alright guys, so I'm going to head down and get the log arch. Before I do, hunting season is in full swing. And you might wonder why we haven't put any hunting videos out. Well, we haven't been hunting yet. We have been fishing, but we haven't been hunting. I'll explain to you why in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and run the boundary lines on the property just to make my presence known, stir up a few leaves, make it look like the four-wheeler's been through there, just to keep honest people honest. In years past, I used to hunt what they called muzzleloader, black powder, and the restrictions were you could use a percussion cap rifle, but you had to have open sights, and you had to have, of course, a muzzle loader, and you could only use a round ball. Because some people found the muzzle loader very cantankerous in wet weather, which in the fall is usually pretty wet, and dirty, and kind of a pain in the neck to load. Muzzle load season was pretty much open and free to anybody who didn't mind messing with those old front stuffer rifles. But New York State years ago changed the rules. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing they changed the rules. I understand our deer population in New York has exploded. I think we are over 1 million deer in New York State. So they have to keep them under control, because if you get into a rough winter where food sources are scarce, you lose a lot of deer because they run out of food. And the only ones that survive are the super healthiest ones. And you say, well, the healthy should survive, but a lot of healthy deer die on a rough winter, especially if the population is too big for the food source to support them. So what New York State did was they changed the rules. You can use a inline muzzle loader, you can use a scope, and these inline muzzle loaders, they're just like a rifle. They're just like a single shot rifle, and they've even made them easier to load. You just drop the packets down in the barrel and stuff a sabot bullet down there. These things are accurate out to 200, 250 yards, and I've even heard of them being accurate further than that. But what that did was it increased the amount of hunters. When me and my buddies used to go hunting muzzleloader, we used to dress the part. We'd dress up in mountain man clothing and just go out and have a good time. And with so many hunters in the woods, we no longer could do that because it was dangerous to dress in buckskins during deer season, if you know what I mean. Now, this year, they've done the same thing with archery season. Used to be archery was longbow, and then years ago they made it so you could use a compound bow or longbow as long as it was 35 pounds or more. I think that's the law. But anyway, this year they opened archery up to crossbow, and the crossbow is like a rifle right out to 70 yards. We've got crossbows and we've used them. You can use a crossbow in New York. You could use it during regular season, and you could use it during muzzleload season. But now they've allowed crossbow during regular archery season, which, like the muzzleloader, it's not a bad thing. It just increases the amount of hunters in the woods. So bow season was kind of like, what can I say, the holy grail of hunting. You sat up in a tree, there was absolutely no pressure on the deer. You saw a lot of deer, and like I said, it was kind of like the holy grail of hunting deer. But now, with the crossbows, there is a lot of people back in the woods. There's people that cannot draw a 35-pound bow due to not enough strength, shoulder issues, elbow issues, you know what I'm talking about. So by allowing crossbows during archery season, there is a lot of people in the woods using crossbows. But by allowing crossbows, some people are actually stalking deer instead of sitting in a tree with the crossbow, and some of them, when they're cocked, they fold up pretty small. They fold up almost as narrow as a rifle, so you can carry them through the woods pretty easy. And you have people that are walking around the woods now stalking deer with crossbows. And what that has done is the poor guy that sits up in a tree all day hoping to see a deer, well, the deer are disturbed. It's not like you snuck in the woods and it's nice and quiet and nobody has put pressure on the deer, so the deer are just calm, walking around in their environment, not worried about hunters. Now you got the deer worried. They're just like a regular hunting season. And we hunt islands down on the Mohawk River. We used to archery hunt those islands quite heavy. Took a little trip down there the other day just to see what things are like, and the island has a lot of people on it, and they are walking around the island with crossbows. The island's not that big, so there isn't very far for deer to go except for jump in the water and swim across the river, which they're doing. But it just disturbs the deer to the point to where it's not like a non-hunting season, if you know what I mean. So therefore this year we are not hunting early. We will wait till later in the season when people get tired of hunting, things kind of calm down, and when southern zone opens south of here, all the hunters will go that way because it's all farm fields and there's a lot of deer down there compared to up here. And I think then we'll probably start hunting up here. And all these changes don't mean it's bad. It just means that you have to change your tactics. And of course, anytime something new comes about, there's a bunch of people that grumble about it. There's a bunch of people that are happy about it. But I understand the ultimate goal is it would be a lot better to have a deer fall to a hunter's arrow or a bullet and be used for meat than for a deer to starve to death and die in the snow a slow, agonizing death. So that is the upside to all these changes. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, it's just changes. Alright, so I didn't grab the biggest birch log, I grabbed the next one up. That was the straightest one. That'll give us the best slabs to start with. The other one's got a hump in it. That'll make some ovals, which you can't seem to keep ovals here. I find they love them. But anyway, I'll take this down, we'll stick it on Tim's mill, and I'll grab one cherry and bring it out. That'll give us something to do tonight, even if it's raining out. It's not that Tim is being a jerk about me dropping trees by myself. He's worried more about the safety of it because a lot of times up here in the woods, we have no cell service. And a couple of years ago, during the winter, we dropped a pine tree. It was flat on the ground. It was down, and I was bucking it up. I bucked one log off the base of it, and then when I bucked the second log off, we don't know to this day what happened, but the whole trunk of the tree jumped up off the ground, hit me, knocked me down, and pinned me under the tree, under the butt of the tree. And if it wasn't for the snow, it could have been really bad. As it was, both my legs swole up really big from being pinched between the tree and the ground. And I think the snow saved my arse. So anyway, it's not that Tim is just being an asshole. Tim is worried about my safety and concerned that something happens and I'm up here by myself, it's going to be an issue. So don't be too hard on Tim when he yells at me. I'm not. Sometimes I even laugh. Guys, well, thanks for coming along with me today. That's a cherry log. It's on the arch right there. Go carry it down to the mill, and I don't know what I'm going to do from this point on while I wait for Tim to get home. But anyway, I'm going to tell Tim these logs came from the stump dump. You guys are going to have to help me convince him. And then, of course, when he sees this video, he's going to know they didn't come from the stump dump. But we have to convince him that AI made that video. So it looked like I took him out of the woods. Okay? Can we think we could do that? Yeah, right. All right, guys. Thanks for coming along with us. And until the next one, we will catch you later.